Hey everyone, I'm going to go over the new and extremely exciting news that we have for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows. As if you had been watching the digital presentation or you weren't necessarily keeping up, essentially the digital presentation showcased a lot of stuff when it comes to Capcom games, and one of them was, of course, Monster Hunter. Now, one of the things that we were expecting based on some of the details that they showcased originally on their website was the fact that we will finally get the revealed release date for the release of Sunbreak on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows. And of course, that's pretty much exactly what took place. And for those who basically didn't know, on April 28th, of this year, of course, the game will finally be dropping. That will be Sunbreak dropping on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and PC Windows, finally releasing on April 28th. Now, this is something that I have been talking about pretty much for about a month's time now, because based on some of the event quests that we have access to thanks to the data mining for the fourth free title update, we knew that there's going to be a couple of event quests that are going to kind of like synergize pretty much everything together on Nintendo Switch, PC, Steam, Windows, PlayStation, and Xbox. And we basically knew that somewhere around early April is when we expected the release date to happen for these new consoles. But now we have the direct confirmation that it will be on the 28th. Now, the interesting thing here is that we were expecting pretty much at the back end of the month, pretty much late April, for the next free title update to drop on Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. And one of the things that they touched upon very quickly at the back end of the presentation was the fact that they revealed that there will be hosting a digital event presentation for Nintendo Switch and PC Steam regarding the fifth free title update on April. Now, they didn't give us a date, but of course it was going to be a given. We were going to get some sort of details at some point in the future, them showcasing, of course, the monsters that we're expecting to see, a couple of brand new Risens, maybe a brand new returning monster from a rather popular game back in 3, so all that kind of stuff. So certainly, we were expecting some news regarding that, but I didn't expect them to actually go ahead and showcase anything too big when it comes to free title update number 5, because this presentation was just pretty much 100% focused on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows side of things. Now, another interesting twist that we have on top of the fact that we got the release date for April 28th is the fact that the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows version of the game will simply be launching everything up to the third free title update, or essentially what they called patch number 13. If you're playing on the Nintendo Switch or PC Steam as of right now, you're playing on patch number 14th. Therefore, that is the fourth free title update. The game on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows will be on the third free title update. So they kind of mentioned that you'll have access to chaotic Gore Magala and stuff like that. A couple of the Risens, I think Risen Kushala D'Ora, Risen Chameleos, I believe. But you won't have, maybe even Risen Teostra, I don't quite remember. But you won't have access to, for example, the brand new Volcana that was just recently added, or Risen Crimson Glow Valstrax. Both of these monsters are part of the fourth free title update. So pretty much, you're going to have access to all of the new post-launch free title update number 1 monsters, like Seething, Bazelgeuse, Goldrathian, Silver Rathalos, Lucent, Nargacuga, the second free title update monsters, Risen, Chameleos, Violet Mitsutsune, I believe Flaming Espinas, then Risen Kushala D'Ora, Risen Teostra, and Chaotic Gore Magala. But of course, Volcana and Risen Crimson Glow Valstrax are part of the fourth one. Therefore, they are not going to be part of that specific update. So that is a little bit interesting, something that I didn't necessarily expect them to do. I thought that they were going to sync everything up day one on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows to be pretty much day one. So we pretty much have full PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows players have full access to those updates that we now have access to on Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. But for whatever reason, they decided not to do that. It will be interesting to see. They do mention in the presentation that at a later date they will be confirming when those updates are going to drop for PlayStation, presumably maybe within a month and a half's time, maybe 6 or so weeks. You'll be able to see it. Maybe by the time that the fifth free title update drops on Nintendo Switch and PC Steam, they'll drop everything synced up 4 and 5 together on PlayStation. That is just speculation on my part. We don't necessarily know. I do find that a little bit interesting that they decided to take that route in that regard. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Sunbreak dropping on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows is certainly very exciting for a lot of players. Now, there is a little bit of a discussion already regarding, at the very least, the pricing structure on PlayStation, for example. I recently saw that the game is already Monster Hunter Rise on PlayStation, whether PS4 or PS5, it's already down to $20 on PlayStation. I believe it's down to like $15 on Xbox if you buy it digitally. You cannot buy it physically, of course, on those two platforms. I think on PC, Steam has been already dropped at about 20 to 25 as well. So therefore, when Sunbreak drops in about, I want to say 7 weeks on those platforms, you're going to be able to actually see the game probably down to even like $15. And Sunbreak most likely will end up being either 30 to 40. It will be interesting to see if they charge the full $40 that Nintendo Switch and PC Steam players had to pay. It will be interesting to see if they just drop it at 30 and release it there. So the pricing structure is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be talking about. I've already seen people complaining that PlayStation players are struggling to kind of find people to play with because, you know, the end game is a little bit limited there. And unless you're playing by yourself, you're having a little bit of a tough time finding people to play with. Game Pass has helped base Monster Hunter Rise on Xbox, but of course the player base is still very minimal in comparison to even PC Steam and of course the Nintendo Switch, which has the most amount of players pretty much playing all together. So that is probably going to be something that people need to consider going forward, whether it is they're going to choose to continue playing in those platforms or maybe go back to PC Steam or Nintendo Switch based on the fact that, you know, there's just more players, if that really matters to you. But of course, it's the visual comparisons, something that I talked about heavily on my review, is really going to make that much of a difference for you. But that's pretty much all the information that we have now. April 28th, release date for Sunbreak on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and PC Windows. This should be very exciting for those people who are very much have been playing Monster Hunter Rise for about a month and a half, 2 months time, I think, somewhere around that time, on those platforms, and have been waiting for Sunbreak to drop. I think the interesting and more, you know, appealing aspect of it is that, of course, the 5th free title update will be dropping somewhere in late April, most likely around the same day that Sunbreak launches on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows. And it will be a fascinating twist, and we're just gonna have to maybe get more details on this at a later date, that the fact that Sunbreak drops on the 3rd free title update for those platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows, but of course maybe the same day the 5th free title update drops on Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. So everyone gets something, but not necessarily the same thing. And we're just gonna have to wait and see what more details pop at a later date. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.